Hey, welcome to Sola Melodica. I am Tim Kaiser, and on this channel we reflect and react to music lyrically, looking for a glimmer of God and redemptive qualities in the gift that is music. Today I'm going to do something a little different. I came across a brief interview with Welch, the guitarist for Korn, and it is titled Am I Still Christian? And I want to look at that video and kind of react to it. I think it's short, it's 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes long, something like that. And we'll just chat about it in a minute and see what's going on with that video, because I think this is something cool, right? So let's just see what he has to say.
One other question, which is past 10, 15 years, you've been very outspoken Christian, and then I saw this YouTube video that was kind of taken out of context.
Do you feel like when you got sober, quit drugs, Xanax and Vicodin and everything that you were on, and then went into Christianity, that became your new addiction?
You know, I got obsessed with it, just like I was obsessed with the drugs.
That one clip was taken out of context saying you renounced it. Where are you at with that now?
So the Christian news media and other websites and stuff, especially the Christian side, there's been a lot of stories about musicians, Christian musicians, renouncing their faith. So it's really good for clickbait. A lot of these media outlets took it and listened to it and thought that I was renouncing it. So it was definitely taken out of context. When I first became a Christian, I was coming off of methamphetamines, first of all, and I had a massively powerful encounter where God was revealing himself to me. And so those two sides of the coin, coming off of meth and a powerful encounter, I didn't know how to react, and I just went out and I was overzealous. I was obnoxious with my faith, and it took me a while to bring it down. So that's all I was trying to say in that video with that podcast with Rob Flynn. I still share my faith, my personal stories of things that I go through in a non-religious way. I feel like I try to be very spiritual, but like, this is how it's helped me, da-da-da. My manager hit me up and he's like, hey, I think you should address this because I think people are really starting to believe that you renounce it. And I was like, all right, I'll write a post about it. But that kind of stuff doesn't get to me at all anymore. It's just like, whatever. People can twist your words however they want. I have an amazing relationship with God, and I know where that stands. So I'm very confident in that. So I don't got to really worry about it for temporary controversy. Are you ready?
All right, so let's talk about that for a minute. Head talks about Vanilla Ice. That might be an interesting video to watch too. So I totally get what he's saying. There's a couple things that's important, a couple things that are important to discuss here. So there are a lot of Christians who are what they call deconstructing their faith right now. And so I have my own opinion of that, and since this is a channel I get to talk on, I'll say what I want, say what I believe. So that happening is you have people from, and I don't know all the bands because it's happened kind of fast and furious. And here's my perspective of that. Being a Christian's not easy. It's challenging, and the expectations are high. And I think the Bible is very clear in what the expectation is for the people who believe and confess that they're Christian. And when all of a sudden a lot of worldviews clash, then you have to decide, are you going to side with how you feel and your truth, or are you going to side with what the Bible says? And so a lot of the musicians, and they're Christian musicians, so people who listen to this channel who aren't Christian wouldn't know their names, so it doesn't even matter. But they all of a sudden decide, oh my gosh, God is mean, or gosh, God is so hard. He expects so much. Yeah, he absolutely does, because he's God. And we don't get into this Christianity thing to have our own way. We don't. It's really simple. He says, if you love me, you keep my commandments, right? So That's one thing. So people deconstructing, my perspective is they probably never really were Christians. What they probably ended up doing was having a crisis, in a life crisis, and they heard about God, and they wanted the good things, the peace and the joy and the love and the kindness and the faithfulness and all the things that go with that, and they just traded their bad life for a life of morality. Now, Christians should live a moral life. We should. The truth is, though, we're going to fail every single day in that, and so. So there's that. But what Brian Head Welch said, that he's like, he became overzealous. And I'm going to just tweak that a little bit, and that's his words, so I know he said what he said, but I'm going to use it from a biblical perspective, because the writer of the majority of the New Testament was the Apostle Paul, St. Paul, and he wrote about being zealous without knowledge. So a lot of times, and it made perfect sense what he said, that he traded one addiction for another. So that whole process is like, you're just on fire and you're gonna tell people, and what usually that comes out as is self-righteous and better than thou and all those things that are so off-putting and so just annoying to people. And here you have this guy, right? So and I don't know, I've only met him one time. I heard him in church one time, and he never seemed to be that way to me. But I'm not with him every single day, right? So, but we can, as new Christians, we become so fired up and we want to do this, and it all becomes what we can do, not what we're becoming. And so, I mean, I'm sure I've been part of this Christian walk since like 1991 or 1992, I think 1992. And so I've been doing this a long time. And I'm sure because I came out of a lifestyle, I was in the Navy for 5 years, right? I was the filthy language, pounding all the liquor I could, and all, just living just a lifestyle of debauchery and hedonism. And all of a sudden I became a Christian. It's like I didn't want to do any of that stuff anymore, right? So, and so then I may have put off like some kind of signal to people like, oh, because I'm better than you, because I don't do that anymore. So that's not really what's important here, right? In Christianity, what's important is us being conformed to the image of Christ. And the image of Christ is, yeah, he has high expectations, but he also is gentle and kind and all kinds of other things too, that we may not portray evenly to people, and it can be off-putting. So what he said made absolute sense to me. I didn't watch the full art interview to take out of context, because I know what people are going to hear what they want to hear usually. And something my wife is trying to teach me to do is believe the best in people. Don't always go to the negative or think something bad is happening, because life is tough, right? So no, this is good. This is a short video, something a little different, and maybe we'll do a Korn song or a Brian Head Welch song. I don't remember the name of his band. This is kind of in between my music genre, but so yeah, thank you for joining me today, and I will see you soon with a new video. Until then, may the peace of God and the grace of God come upon you and overtake you, and I will see you soon.